Good morning, dear students. In the last class, I taught you natural language processing. In today's class, I am going to teach you natural language for communication. So, if you see, already I have taught you the definition of communication, right? So, what is communication? Communication is nothing but it is an intentional exchange of information. So, communication is nothing but exchange of information between two people or between two systems or between two objects or whatever it is an intentional exchange of information. Communication is the exchange of information. So, if you see in this natural language for communication in today's class, I am going to teach you about two things. One is machine translation and another one is speech recognition. Okay? So, I am going to teach you about two things, how the machine translation is being done. So, when you speak in English, how it is translated into Tamil or Spanish or Italian, some other language. Okay? So, how the translation is done from one language to the another. So, I am going to teach you about that. And another one is speech recognition. So, when you speak, the speech is being converted into text, it is converted into other languages. So, how it is being done. So, these two topics I am going to cover in today's class. First one is machine translation. So, as I said earlier, it is nothing but translation from one language to the another. So, when you translate from Tamil to Hindi or Hindi to Tamil or English, you call it as translation. So, when you see an example for this Google translation, if you see an example for this Google translation, when you search in Google like translation, when you type a word in Tamil, you can convert that into English or to some other language, even in Hindi. Even when you speak, it recognizes and translates from one language to the other language. So, that is a good example for this machine translation. So, the best example for machine translation is Google translation. So, if you see here, what are the applications of this machine translation? So, there are mainly three applications of machine translation. The first one you call it as rough translation. So, rough translation in the sense, the companies itself, there are many online web services which offers this service for free. So, there are many online services where if you just type a particular word in a particular language, a paragraph in a particular language, it will do the translation and convert it into another language. But the problem with this kind of this rough translation is there will be many errors, okay, because the companies are providing it for free of service and there is a possibility of errors. The second type of translation you call it as pre-edited translation. So, pre-edited translation, the best example if you see when you buy a phone, a Nokia or Samsung mobile phone, you will get a material like a printed document, how to use it, a manual will be there. But if you see, the manual will be in 2 or 3 languages, even 10 languages small manual is also available. So, that you call it as pre-edited translation. The company itself will prepare a document in multiple languages. So, that you call it as pre-edited translation. And the last one you call it as restricted translation. So, restricted translation if you see, it is actually a source translation. It is also called as source translation, which is fully automatic. So, automatic in the sense if you see weather report will be there. So, it is a weather report will be specified in a language that is common to all. So, that kind of translation you call it as restricted translation. Example, weather report. Okay? So, the details which is been given from a weather report will be almost common to all languages. So, those kind of languages you call it as restricted languages. Okay? So, these are some of the applications of our machine translation. Next, I am going to teach you about machine translation systems. So, in that particularly, I am going to teach you about two machine translation system. One is machine translation system, we call it as Vagius triangle. Another one is statistical machine translation system. So, I am going to teach you about this. So if you clearly see this particular architecture, you can see like the English is being converted into French. So this triangle tells you, so this is almost like a shape of a triangle, okay. So this tells you how an English word is converted into French word. So if you see here, the English word is like John loves Mary, okay. The English word is John loves Mary. This is converted into English syntax. This is converted into English syntax. Like if you see, the sentence consists of noun phrase John, verb phrase loves, and noun phrase Mary. So this is the syntax of this particular sentence, John loves Mary. And the meaning of this particular syntax, that is semantic of this particular sentence, is John loves Mary. Okay. So this is the semantics, and this is converted into a interlinga semantic. So it is a common framework for all languages. Okay. So from English, I am converting the sentence into a common format called as interlinga. So here if you see, there is an attraction named John, named person Mary, and the attraction seems to be high. So we didn't mention the word love here, or hate na attraction will be low, love we have the attraction as high. We didn't mention that, but we are making a statement like the attraction named John, there is a person named Mary, and the attraction seems to be high. So I have converted the word English word into an intermediate language called as interlinga semantic. Now if you see here, it is being converted into French. So the French semantic says that Amy, Jean, Mary. So this is the meaning of that particular sentence, semantic. And the French syntax is like we have a sentence with the noun phrase Jean. So John, in the French you call it as Jean, and the verb phrase Amy. So love we had it in English, here it is converted as Amy, and again we have the noun phrase Mary. So this is the syntax in French, and finally we get the sentence like Jean, Amy, Mary. So John loves Mary is converted into French word, that is Jean, Amy, Mary. Okay. So Jean, Amy, Mary is the French word. So this is how the machine translation is being done from one language to the other language. Now we have the second model of machine translation. It is called a statistical machine translation. So for this statistical machine translation, you need to give just a sample translation. With that sample translation, the machine will be able to do the further translation. So you have to train the system with some sample translation, and with that the machine can do the translation. So if you see here, I have an English sentence. There is a smelly wumbus sleeping. There wumbus is nothing but a creature or a devil, you can call it. So there is a smelly wumbus sleeping. So this is converted into different phrases like E1, English word 1, word 2, word 3 and word 4. Now if you see here, in French, when you call it as, you can write like that, Ian wumbus malorant queer dot. So this is how it is been spelled in French, but you can see like the words will be rearranged. Even when you speak something in English, and when you try to convert that into Tamil, in the same order we cannot frame sentence, right? So the order will be changed. When you frame sentence from one language to the other sentence, sometimes the English word will be very short, Tamil word will be very much lengthy, right? So these kind of changes will be there when you convert from one language to the other language. So here also the same thing happens. The wumbus, which is spelled in English at the third position, moves to second position in French, whereas the second position which is in English, that is smelly, moves to third position in French. Okay, so these kind of some shifting of the words will be there when you convert from one language to the other language. So when you give a sample word to the machine, with that help it can convert any other sentences which you give. So this you call it as statistical machine translation. Okay, so I have taught you how machine translation can be done. What are the applications, and I have taught you the two different format of machine translation. Now I am going to teach you about speech recognition. What is speech recognition? So it is nothing but identifying the words which we utter, what we speak. So how the machine is able to identify the words that we speak. So that you call it as machine or a speech recognition. So if you see, when you do the speech recognition, there are some issues. So especially in our book, they have prescribed 3 different issues that occur when we do the speech recognition. So the first one is called as segmentation, articulation and homophones. Okay, so there are 3: segmentation, articulation as well as homophones. So if you see the segmentation, it is said to be the gap when you speak the words fast. So when you know, like when you speak the cat drank the milk. So when you do it in a slow manner, it is okay. When you do speak the words in very fast, much faster, the meaning gets differ, the sentences comes together and it will be very difficult for the machine to recognize. So that kind of problem you call it as segmentation. The machine has the problem in dividing the sentences when you utter the words faster. Okay, so that you call it as segmentation. The second one is called as articulation. So articulation, if you see this, spell this word nice, 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 yes comes at the last. When you spell the word beach, beach, peach, so the P stands in front. Even though you spell it as beach, that P slang is also there in front of the beach. So when you spell the word together, nice beach, it's instead of this E and B, the machine, there is a possibility of taking it as SP, nice beach. SP comes there. Instead of EB, SP, nice beach comes there. So this kind of problem you call it as articulation. Okay, so when you spell, the machine sometimes it will read it as in a different words. Then the last one is homophones. So homophones you already know, like to, TO, TOO, to, then TWO. So all these words are different, but it spells as same, right? It is spelled as same. So that kind of words you call it as homophones. So these issues normally occur when you do the speech recognition. Okay students, now I am going to teach you about some models like acoustic model, how the speech recognition is being done with the help of acoustic model. So if you see here, I have taken an example like tomato. Some people spell the word tomato as tomato. Some people spell the words tomato as tomato. So see here, T-to-ma-to. Some people spell like this. Some people spell like tomato, tomato, tomato. So like this, that words, the spelling the words by the people will be different. So the machine has to recognize these kind of words also. So even when we speak to our Google, we are using OK Google, Google translation is there, Google search engines are there, voice search is there in all the apps, all the mobile phones you have it. So when you do this translation, each people spell the words in different manner, but still the machine is able to identify those words properly. So that is done with the help of acoustic model. So first when you set up your phone, it asks some words to speak. It asks you to speak some words. So it gets trained. How you spell, it learns. And because of that, it is able to recognize your words, your slang. How you spell the words, it recognizes. Okay? So this you call it as acoustic model. So people spell differently. So the machine will be able to recognize those words correctly with this acoustic model. So this represents the probability of how it is used. So most of the people, they use tau. First tomato, tau they used commonly. But when you see EY and AA, tome. So when you see these words, the probability will be different. Many people, Chinese people may use tomato. Maybe some people, Indian people may use as tomato. So the changes in probability comes in only this word, and tau, tomato. So those words also probability seems to be the similar one. So with this acoustic model we can recognize the words. The last one is the language model. So language model, if you see, if you are want to create a airline reservation system, you can get the sample which has been created earlier to train the machine, and with that sample you can create a airline reservation system. So that that kind of model you call it as language model. So, already existing model document, you are using it for creating a new system. So, that kind of model you call it as language model. Okay. So, these are the different models that are available under speech recognition. So, dear students, in today's class I have taught you two major topics under language, natural language for communication. One is machine translation and another one is speech recognition. So, these are very important topics. So, this is the third topic that comes under unit 5. So, there is only one more topic that is left in our 5th unit that I will be covering in the next class. Okay? Thank you.